Boy, do we have a lot of news in this episode, so I'm just gonna jump right into it. And starting off right off the bat, we're gonna hit hard with an ongoing story from Crypto.com and their hacker woes. It seems that we have some information coming out of the Crypto.com sort of hacker problem here, stating how much has actually been removed from the platform. It seems it's about $15 million or 4,600 ETH. Although Crypto.com and its spokespeople actually maintain that none of that was user assets, they more than likely probably transferred it internally because there may have been some user assets actually taken, but it seems as though they're basically claiming that there is none. The hackers have been found using a protocol called Tornado Cash. Tornado Cash seems to be what is called an ETH mixer protocol. Looking at the article from CoinDesk, it actually seems like a mixer protocol is got some privacy sort of algorithm that allows it to be beneficial when it comes to exchanging coins between two people and hiding the privacy of them. It seems as though law enforcement has actually had problems with mixer protocols before, and they're currently looking at this maybe being a situation to bring the same sort of action against this mixer protocol, as it is quite a large one and it has quite a high profile case. Obviously, Crypto.com is quite a large brand that I feel like $15 million of theirs going missing could definitely be enough to sort of motivate them to get some law enforcement moving on it, which isn't necessarily a bad thing in the long run if they can put it and stop it and actually get involved. Although that said, privacy is something that's always been a concern in cryptocurrency and should be interesting to see what ultimately happens. Apparently the hackers are sending batches of 100 ETH through the protocol to sell them and basically, do a wash and rinse so that they can pull out their cash somewhere else. Here's a post from the Crypto.com CEO. Some thoughts from me on the last 24 hours. No customer funds were lost. The downtime of withdrawal infra was 14 hours. Our team has hardened the infrastructure in response to the incident. We will share a full postmortem after the internal investigation. This is good to see that they're actually responding to it. They've been forward about the whole process and actually trying to stave any sort of fear and FUD out there. But ultimately, it's a poor thing to have happened in the first place. And I think a lot of people have been raising concerns about that. And one of the things that keeps coming across has been two-factor authentication. It's actually been, why is this broken? And it seems to be something that was leading, that there was a bug inside of their two-factor authentication that actually led to this happening. We have a tweet here from West Coast Pop. Crypto.com has been breached and now we can't even reset our two-factor authentication. If you're having issues resetting your two-factor authentication, retweet this at Crypto.com, #crypto, #cryptocurrency. This was just one tweet that I pulled out that's indicative of doing a search of Crypto.com on Twitter. Go look for yourself. A lot of people having problems with it. If you do have an account, it seems as though actually when you log in, you're gonna be asked to reset it. So that might be something to go over and do now. I have an account, I haven't done it yet. I don't know if I'm worried about my 0.2% CRO that they gave me for free, but I'll go take a look in a bit and actually see what the results are. Let's jump on to the next story. In a surprise move, Intel is going to be jumping into the Bitcoin mining rig game. They're going to be focusing on an ultra low wattage or voltage or energy usage mining rig. This could be really big for the industry as Intel is a huge manufacturer, chip manufacturer. And not only that, they have a huge presence in the retail market for people to see this happening. That said, I'm always looking at it from a retail point of view, but really, the ASIC mining and Bitcoin mining rig is really only reserved for the elite. However, to get into it could also be a huge impact on the energy efficiency, not only from a cost standpoint, but also from the environmental concern, which obviously related to ESG concerns out there and companies wanting to invest in things that are environmentally friendly. This could be a very big thing for it because a company like this promoting low energy usage and being greener on their sort of data computing really could bring it to the forefront on a lot of other computer manufacturers or chip manufacturers in this particular niche and really help drive down the energy usage when it comes to it. As we've seen before, there are many countries out there that are also offering low energy bills related to renewable energy, such as volcanoes and wind energy and solar energy. So the energy consumption around Bitcoin mining has been a very large topic on the number of many people's minds. Again, institutional investors are really guided by what is called ESG. And that has a lot to do with the governments on ESG. The governance on ESG is really a directive that promotes a lot of companies not to invest in companies that aren't taking it serious And so it is really something big to look at. Intel jumping into this market can really maybe make a dent and maybe make it move a little bit in the right direction. So it's an interesting play there. In a really surprising move, Microsoft has decided to purchase game manufacturer Activision Blizzard. Now, this is a huge acquisition for Microsoft and one of its largest to date. Not to mention, Activision Blizzard is a very large company and has a lot of really high-end titles in its repertoire. Call of Duty, World of Warcraft, Overwatch. It's a very popular and large brand in the gaming space. Microsoft cites this as being its foray into the metaverse or expanding its reach into the metaverse. We have a quote here from CEO Satya Nadella. Gaming is the most dynamic and exciting category in entertainment across all platforms today and will play a key role in the development of metaverse platforms. A lot of people have been thinking about the metaverse in 2022. Is it going to make the plays that most of us expect it to? This would almost be a confirmation of that. If you were bullish on the metaverse before, you should really start buying more at these low prices, because once this bull rally goes, there's a very real chance that this will take off, especially with news of this nature. Gaming companies like Microsoft wanting to get into the metaverse this heavily and skip the line by just buying giant brands is going to be huge. And whenever I tell people and talk about them as the lead driver behind NFTs in the metaverse is going to be things in gaming, because think of all that grinding that people do for that magical sword or those special skins in Call of Duty. If they now could make money off of that, think how much more time they would grind and how much more money they would spend on those games. Metaverse is going to be a huge portion of crypto in 2022 and beyond. Microsoft making a purchase in this space is going to be a very large thing. When we look over on Twitter, we actually see a lot of news on it. Most people are memeing about, which is actually having a lot of fun with it. It just seems to be all-round bullish news on this announcement. Moving out of the metaverse and into the real world, I have some exciting news for everyone out there looking to purchase their first home. Fintech startup Milo is looking to offer 30-year crypto mortgages. Now, this is really exciting for everyone who holds crypto in their pocket, because it means the future is coming to the real world. Now, before you jump out there and grab your bag of ADA or perhaps your Matic, it's only being offered on Bitcoin. Now, obviously, with Bitcoin being one of the most dominant coins out there, this is a logical conclusion that it's going to be the one easily collateralized and understood by most other backers supporting a mortgage in this capacity. The company has stated that they will be using more Bitcoin as their asset of choice for the mortgages, although it is yet unclear how it will all actually pan out. In a quote from Milo's website, instead of selling your crypto for a down payment to qualify for a mortgage, a crypto mortgage lets you leverage your crypto to invest in real estate. The CEO and founder of Milo has said in a quote stated through Cointelegraph, the existing way for crypto consumers to access home credit has left them with unintended tax liabilities of selling for a down payment, or worse, the opportunity cost of seeing their crypto increase in value. This is really exactly the same thing that we run into with all the collateralized loans coming out of the crypto world. As most of you know, holding your assets into the future is a great thing to do, but sometimes you need that money down right now for real world problems. Perhaps it's an injury, perhaps you need to use it to purchase a house. Maybe you just have an AC unit go out in the house you have already. But when you actually have to sell off on any of your coins, that is going to raise a tax liability in the US. So anytime you sell those, you're going to be hit with capital gains tax, which generally costs a little bit extra on top of also selling it. So you get out of your position and you also have to take the tax hit at the end of the year. Now, with a lot of collateralized based loans, we've seen a circumnavigation of this, which has been fantastic. And it is, something of an opinion that I might have that this could be similar to what we would be seeing for them. It should be interesting to see how they actually go through with accepting the Bitcoin, because right now, as you go to get a mortgage, someone deposits, 50,000, say, to a mortgage company, you give that to them as your portion of the purchase of the house, and they front you the other 80% depending on the type of mortgage you got. So in this case, would you be essentially giving them your asset? Would you be giving them 20,000 in Bitcoin and then they reap the rewards of it going up? Or are you in some way pulling out a collateralized loan against that Bitcoin that they would accept? It should be a very interesting prospect, because collateralized loans, as you know, if the price drops, the value and the LTV will also drop, putting you in a bit of a sticky pickle. So it's a very interesting premise, but I'm really excited to see this whole industry moving into the mortgage space. I actually have a lot of friends and do work in the real world with mortgage brokers all the time. And this is something that they have been seeing their eyes on and have been wondering when it's going to come down the pipeline. And it looks like the future is now, my friends. It seems as though we're going to start be using crypto for real world purchases on a large scale. And I'll tell you what, purchasing a house is a real world problem. And in my final story today, it seems as though ADA has had a nice little rally in the past few days. Now, since putting this out, it has actually dropped down from its little bit of a run where it made it up to the mid $1.60 range, which has been fantastic for anyone holding the bag. As you may have known, ADA has been on a downward spiral ever since its all-time high back in early in the year, end of December, October range, where it dropped from about $3. It has been spiraling down as other coins have been sort of making their consolidation and in some cases going up. ADA has been unfortunately moving to the downside perpetually. This little run comes on the heels of an announcement that SundaeSwap, the DEX, the main app and platform, will be the first one to actually launch, is coming to beta on the 20th of January, which is really exciting news for, again, the entire community. Now, there has been a lot of hate from other communities out there. It seems to be always a bit of fanboys get on either side and want to poo-poo on other coins out there. But at the end of the day, we all benefit if any of these coins really do go up, because it really raises awareness and puts more legitimacy behind the whole thing. So as far as I'm concerned, I actually do like to see all projects do well. I will mention that I do currently hold ADA myself, so I am more than happy to see it going back in the right direction, as it's really hard to see red days when you have some vested money in it. But this is exciting news, and it does show that there may be a little bit of life left in ADA. There was quite a lot of FUD and a lot of people giving it a hard time, but it does seem that there is some buying pressure that will rally once ADA starts to make its actual moves. This has been mentioned before that many people say that ADA will go into its it doesn't do anything phase for quite a while before it actually starts launching its dApps on its protocol. Once those launch, I think there's actually going to be quite a rally for this. And if this coincides with the end of the bull rally, this could see quite a nice little pump up for the ADA price, well surpassing all-time highs if everything goes to plan. So that's all I have in the news today for you. I hope you found it useful. This was a really jam-packed couple of days here. I thought there were some really exciting things coming out. I love when things come out of nowhere, like the Microsoft story. So, you know what to do if you found any of this useful. Hopefully it was a benefit to you. And let me know if any of this has any weight on your portfolio, how you feel. I usually try to hit on topics that are just high level and macro, things that I think that are gonna move the needle in a large way. So let me know if there's anything out there specific that you think I should cover, or if you think I'm doing a bad job or a good job. I would love some feedback on it, but I'm really into the news as far as it goes in this industry. So let me know what you would like to see more of, and I'll catch you in the next one.